Hi and Assalamualaikum. My name is Nur Hidayah Binti Roseli from class BA1183D. Many people around the world must have met a person with autism, and most of them may not know on what are the signs or symptoms of autism spectrum disorder, that also known as ASD. Here I am right now to talk about the signs of autism. Autism spectrum disorder is a developmental disability caused by differences in the brain, and people with ASD may have different ways of learning, moving, and also paying attention. Me, myself, have my own experience with a person who have autism. My 5-year-old niece, named Afan Huzaifah, has been diagnosed with ASD recently, which answer all of my questions, such as why does his behavior is different with the other kids, and why won't he respond when I call his name. It is hard for me to recognize the signs of autism on him until his own mother, which is my sister, brought him to the hospital due to the speech delay and has been diagnosed with ASD. So first, we will look into the signs of autism, which are children with autism will have social differences and have a difficulty in communicating with others and will have a repetitive and obsessive behaviors. So, let's start with the first signs of autism, where children with autism will face social differences compared to the others. Struggling with social differences is diagnosed as criterion for autism. Children enjoy social situations and interactions and have a genuine desire for friendship, but the process of making and sustaining the friendship is hard for them. Same as what Chris Barnett, the founder and chief enabling officer of the ICANN network, once said, everyone wants to inherently with others, it just through a different filter. A child with ASD will display these social differences, such as not responding or take longer time to respond when people calling out their names. Eye contact is also uncomfortable or even painful for them, and have a difficulty to tell people their own wants and needs, which often lead to frustrations towards the children and also their parents. Now we already know about the first signs of autism. Let's move on to their second signs, which is children will have a difficulty in communicating with others. Communication requires a person to understand the communicative attempts of others. This involves the ability to make sense of spoken language, facial expressions, and also the tone of voice. Children with autism spectrum may have difficulties in this area where they need to understand and use the natural rhythm in conversation. For example, these children will repeat exactly the same as what others says without understanding the meaning, and they also may refer to themselves as you and others as I, and even mix up pronouns. Now, we know about the communication difficulties faced by the children who have autism spectrum. Let's turn to the part where children with autism will have a repetitive and obsessive behaviors. Children with autism spectrum disorder have behaviors or interests that seem very unusual to normal people. Repetitive movements such as rocking and rolling, hand flapping and spinning are often referred to as steaming. Steaming is a compulsory way for a child to calm himself, especially when his sense is overstimulated by bright lights, noises, and smells. And obsessive behaviors such as spinning the wheels repetitively on a toy car or lining up objects can be signs of autism spectrum disorder. I hope I have explained everything needed in my speech to you about the signs of autism spectrum disorder, which are having a social differences, face difficulties in communicating with others, and have a repetitive and obsessive behaviors toward their physical body and things around them. Now we know about the signs of autism spectrum disorder. To conclude, signs of autism should be taken seriously as it involves the children's future, and parents should also pay more attention and be aware of their children's conditions to prevent something like this from a cure. That's all from me. Thank you.